Hey guys, what's going on? Jenko Sports here, bringing you a slightly different video on Madden here today. This is previewing the Sunday night football matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Now, I'm not too sure if this is something you guys want to see. If you do like it come the end of the video, then be sure to let me know in the comments. The gameplay you're going to be seeing is an all-Madden 6-minute quarter game as the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Giants at the Lincoln Financial Field. So going into week 6 then, two very interesting teams, two divisional rivals in the NFC East, and two teams who whenever they play, there's always that sense of unpredictability. You know it's going to be a big game, and you look at what's happened a few years ago, you know, the miracle in the Meadowlands #2 is what it's been called, where Deshaun Jackson did that punt return back in 2010. They've had some fierce matchups all through the decades, and it could well be another one here today. Now, what's really intriguing about these two teams is their season so far. Now, Philadelphia obviously come off an NFC East title. They were looking extremely strong going into this year. Obviously, Nick Foles breaking the touchdown to interception record last year, with New York Giants having a complete opposite side of the story. I mean, they really struggled last year to get that first win. Eli Manning looked out of shape. Many of the fans were doubting Coach Coughlin's appearance next year. Is it time for a replacement? Is this the best of Eli Manning? Is there something that lies deeper that needs strengthening here with this New York team? But either way, you go into this season, New York started off with 2 losses. They're now on a 3-game win streak. And Philly went 3-0, lost to the 49ers, and are now 4-1. Now, you see a team that's 4-1, and you think they've had a great start to the year. But it hasn't been the case with Philadelphia. They've looked, I mean, even as a Philly fan, I've got to admit, they haven't looked the team that they did in 2013. You take Week 1 Washington in 2013, how they played there, how many plays were, you know, conceived essentially by the Eagles in the first quarter alone. I think they almost broke a record actually that game. It was relentless. It was pass after pass, first down after first down. Shady McCoy was tearing up defenses. And what it looks like this year to me, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it seems that Philadelphia haven't got that edge anymore. I mean, everyone's adjusted to this 2-minute offense playbook. Everyone knows the screens, the way that Nick Foles can move the ball around the pocket, and that's another issue entirely, Nick Foles. So we take the playbook out of the way. If that isn't the case, and Philly do still have that advantage, the unpredictable, that burst of speed, you've got Darren Sproles, who's been a tremendous part of the offense this season. But the majority of the Eagles' touchdowns have come from their defense or their special teams. Now, I'm not going to complain. I mean, a touchdown's a touchdown. At the end of the day, a win's a win. If you win the Super Bowl by scoring 6 defensive touchdowns and only 1 offensive one, you're not going to complain. You're going to be, you know, drinking 7 pints of lager, celebrating that you've actually won the Super Bowl. But with the Eagles, there does seem to be that case where the focus has been placed so heavily on the offensive side of the football that when they don't perform, it's a massive upset. And as soon as the defense and special teams come in, they shouldn't be doing that. It should just be the offense, which I think is wrong. So who are the players to watch out for in today's game? Obviously, Nick Foles has not been as big as he has been in 2013. He's still hit 1,300 passing yards, so still a valid threat, to be honest with you. Shady McCoy needs that breakout game this year. He's struggled, and it looks like defences have realised what he's capable of, finally, after about 4 years of him playing in Philly. They've realised how dangerous he is, and have just sent everyone to shut him down. I mean, Darren Sproles is in a completely new area of play. He hasn't normally been used to playing this high tempo of offense, so he's dangerous. No one knows what he's capable of. But Shady McCoy, everyone's got his number. They know if he gets free, it is a big mistake, and they've really worked on closing down the running game here in the Philadelphia offense. Jeremy Maclin's been the only real standout player in terms of the receiving core. Connor Barwin's had 3 sacks. I mean, D'Amico Ryans has been lighting things up on the defensive side of the football. But what's really been the problem, I think, is that the lack of Deshaun Jackson has impacted Philadelphia. You look at what they've got, and you look at the receivers they had last year. Deshaun Jackson is lightning fast. He can burst down the sideline. Not many cornerbacks can keep up with him. That gives Foles less time in the pocket to immediately react and throw the ball to Jackson without pressure. Because let's say 5 seconds. In 5 seconds, Deshaun Jackson would have lost his man. He's about 20 yards down the field. Whereas 5 seconds with Riley Cooper, he's going to be maybe 13, 14 yards still being trailed by that cornerback. And that is a big difference. Foles panics. He doesn't have the options he did last year. And he has to throw the ball into a very tight spot, which we've seen him do. And that's why there's been a number of interceptions and a number of turnovers. And that could be a real problem when you look at the New York Giants defense. I mean, you look at Jaquan Williams, 39 tackles this season. Jonathan Hawkins has had 2.5 sacks. Roll has been picking things off already. 2 interceptions this year for him. If he can continue that into this game, Foles is going to have his work cut out for him. This will not be an easy matchup. And if you lose at home, at Lincoln Financial Field, to the New York Giants, it's not going to sit too well with the fans. Philly fans are brutal, and Philly have to know that. Now, let's take a look, as we say, onto the New York side of the ball. Eli Manning has improved in recent weeks. He's still not perfect, but he is making progress. Rashard Jennings has had a big season. He's had more rushing yards than Shady McCoy. He's looking more elusive inside the pocket on the short runs. And you take a look at the defence of the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's not looking too good. I mean, they're 25th allowed in points per game after some really big hits against the likes of San Francisco. They've allowed 400 yards per game, roughly, per team at the moment, and they only average 5.5 yards per play, and that sets them 13th in the NFL. In terms of Giants, it's not too much better, but they only allowed 22 points per game and 364 yards. So they do look a little bit more comfortable on the defensive side of things, and with an improving Giants side on the defensive side of things to a slowing down Philadelphia side, then they're going to struggle. Yes, Philly is still hitting an average of over 30 points per game, which sits them second in the NFL, but they're lacking on yards, only 300, compared to the 500-600 we saw last season. They're averaging 5.4 yards per play, which is nowhere near enough to beat this team. And it's all going to be down to, can Eli Manning capitalise on this? Can he get that receiving core to really rinse down this Philadelphia defence? Yes, they're making big plays. Yes, the Philadelphia special teams are dangerous, but they can be overthrown in the right situation. They can be forced into some bad problems, and Eli Manning's got to capitalise on that. You're looking at men like Victor Cruz, like Rashard Jennings. They've got to step up this game, and in terms of Philadelphia, it just has to be a complete turnaround. This needs to be the game. Foles is becoming too much of a second half player, and towards the first half of every game now coming to an end, we're seeing Mark Sanchez warm up. And I'm not being funny, but it's only a matter of time before that guy gets a run, before he gets a shot to see what he can do. Because he looked quite hot in pre-season. Is this going to be the weekend where he starts against New York, or at least maybe gets a few throws of the ball to see what he's capable of? Foles has got to step up. If Nick Foles cannot step up, he cannot find the receivers he's looking for, and he panics in the pocket, then he's going to struggle, and New York are going to win this game. If Philly can somehow find that electricity they played with last season, it's going to be an Eagles win. There's no two ways about it. Overall prediction for this one, I'm going to say is a Philadelphia win, but it's going to be by probably a field goal, so maybe 24-21. I'd say it's a good score. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Have I missed out anything? Am I wrong about anything? And how do you think this game is going to end up today? From myself, Jenko Sports, enjoy the football. I'll see you.